Hi everyone, Kimberly Berg here with Rocksteady Boxing Portland, and I am here to talk to you today about the exercises that are actually contraindicated for those people with Parkinson's. I get asked every day about which exercises are best and which ones may actually harm you. And the first exercise that always comes to my mind are crunches. You will never see a crunch in any of my boxing classes or my dance classes, and there are several reasons why. For the general population, including people with Parkinson's, it can be very dangerous, and I will go over the reasons why. But first, we're going to go through a little bit of anatomy lesson. So the reason that people like to do crunches is they hear in the literature and advertising that they have to have a stronger core. And for people with Parkinson's, they're specifically interested in this not because they want six-pack abs or a flat belly, although they may want that, but it's more because they hear that if you have a strong core, you will be more stable, you will have less pain, and you'll have better posture. And if you work your core, all of those are true. But you're not going to get them through crunches. So this is why. So if we're looking at the pelvis here, this is the front, this is the back, here's the tailbone. We have several groups of muscles that comprise the core. So if you think of the word core, that means deep. If you think of an apple core, it's the middle. And this is another reason why crunches aren't going to get this same effect. So if we look at the core muscles, we have the transverse abdominis, which are the muscle fibers that go this way. And they support and stabilize the pelvis. So they run this way. We have, if this had a spine that came up here with, lordosis and kyphosis, so these little tiny powerhouse muscles that come up here are the multifidus, and they are small but mighty, and they support the spine and the relationship of the spine to the pelvis and how it orients itself. Then we have the breathing muscles, which is the diaphragm, and we have a muscle underneath, so that you have to see it when you look down this way. And you can't see it if you're just looking at a person. You can't see those muscles because they're way deep inside. And everybody thinks that the pelvic floor is some sort of weird mystery meat in there that nobody knows. It's this really secret muscle. But in fact, it's skeletal muscle. It is just like your biceps, and it is very, very important for stabilizing the pelvis and for all sorts of other functions, and it reacts with our breathing also, so it can contract and expand also. Those muscles all together help stabilize the pelvis, because if your big leg bones were moving back and forth, your pelvis would be rocking back and forth. If you step sideways, you would be like this. If you bent forward. So you want these muscles to keep you ultra stable and strong. They are not mobilizers. So we call these level 1. They're tiny. They take tiny movements to strengthen and activate them. Timing is everything with this. So we have to learn how to turn them on, and we have to learn how to turn them off. Now, that type of training is very different than crunches, and this is why. So if you are laying on your back doing crunches, and I'll show you an example. If you're here doing a crunch, for those of you who aren't exactly sure, if you're doing a crunch like this, for one, I'm cranking on my neck, which is not good for your neck, but we'll go back to that. That's minor compared to some of the other things that are going on. We're working just this rectus abdominis, and we're flattening out our spine. Now, the rectus abdominis is this big surface, strappy muscle that's responsible for bending you forward. It attaches from the pubic bone all the way up to the rib cage. And it's strong. And it is on the surface. That's why when you have the six-pack, that's what you see, is the rectus abdominis. And a lot of people think that, oh, when I do crunches, I'm going to get a smaller stomach or a flatter stomach, which to me doesn't even make sense, because if you work your bicep, it grows bigger. But for some reason, people think when they work this rectus abdominis, it's going to get smaller. Doesn't really make sense. The only way to get a flatter stomach is through diet and exercise, meaning burning calories. Okay, so we went through that. The rectus abdominis, when you are crunching, this muscle here, big, huge prime mover, is going to get tighter and overworked. That means it's overpowering all the muscles in the back and in the glutes. And we don't want that forward curving, because if this gets overworked and tightened, it's going to start bending you forward. So that's why I brought the banana. Because if this was your head and this was your tail, and that's the rectus abdominis, I put a rubber band here, and if you were crunching here or in one of those machines at the health club where you're going down this way, you're working this big surface muscle, and all it's doing is pulling you forward. It is not making you any stronger, certainly not making you more functional. It's doing nothing for your posture. It took out your lumbar spine, and the reason that there's curves in the spine is that is to work as a shock absorber. So you want to exercise and work in that neutral spine position. Some people feel that if you have Parkinson's, you don't have the ability to take cues to activate this. I say that's incorrect information. My folks who do Pilates are my best fighters and my best dancers, because they understand the importance of the core and working slow and working those muscles. And those are the people that I use as my models when I'm doing exercise, where we're doing anything where we're on our back and we have our legs in the air. Those are the people that I use because they have proper form. And I'm not talking about somebody that is newly diagnosed and isn't advanced. I'm talking about people who have had Parkinson's for years and years, who know how to properly activate their core. They are going to do better as they age because they're going to know how to activate those muscles. They're going to have better posture. They're going to be better movers. So that is why we don't do crunches, and it's why it's important to activate that core and stay super strong. Don't get in those machines that do this, and don't lay on your back and crunch this way. So we're going to keep going through all the exercises in blogs to come, so that you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing and what you should avoid to make sure that you have success with your exercise. So thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you all in class, and we will work our core. Thanks a lot.